Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the session live. You already know the business. I'm so excited about our show today. Listen, I'm so excited. Listen, they made me go and throw back home, do one of my No More Dirty throwback shirts. So listen, I'm your host, Dr. Whitlow. Listen, and shout out to all those that have been rocking with me for a minute. New season, new year, new commitments, new transformative talks. And we're getting ready to add some new video with content drops. So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this probably one time every month or so. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Kenny, make sure you put that up, the channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is No More Dirty Inc. You got to lock in because there's a lot going down. A lot of new changes that are happening, especially when we look at our world today. Listen, we are not only going to compete, but we're going to transform lives with compassion. So again, I'm your host. You already know the business. We do this every Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We also do it for those that are coming off of business travel, and we do that on Monday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, without any further ado, my guest is amazing. In fact, this is what's so cool about it. We just did a major thing that is groundbreaking in our city, our community. He's here in town, and he's going to kick it with me this evening. If you're on the other side of the world, in the morning, good morning. And then tomorrow night, he's going to be here. We're going to transform this amazing, dope studio into something you've never seen before. We're going to seat 75 to 100 seats. You're able to come pull up. The donation is just a $5 donation. If you don't have it, that's still fine. Show up, come, get blessed. My man is going to put you on game. We're going to give away 4 amazing, authentic, African, Edenic, and postmodern full canvas prints. Now, they cost a lot, but if you just show up and donate and be there, and we draw your name, it's free. Number 2, my man got a book that's off the chain. But listen, Kenny, let's go ahead and get him in this thing. Here it is, Eshawn Burgundy. You know, we're going to keep it 100, especially during this month when we are celebrating the best, and the best of African Edenic Black experiences and music and sound, artistically, and in otherwise. Here it is. You already know. It sounds like black folk. Let's go. Eshawn Burgundy.
Hallelujah.
That's how we living, man. That's how we living, man. You know, real trenches fly like that all day through. Real trenches, man.
Yeah. The Messiah was born in Bethlehem, but he was raised in Nazareth. I was born in Abington, but I was raised in Philadelphia. South Philadelphia. Passion Projects. Yeah. The soul of black folks, revelation for our nation like the island of Patmos. In these last days, I'm one of the Jews dwelling in Patros. I came up, my chain tucked, my hoodie on, and my hat low. Deceived, you wouldn't believe how many demons was in my chateau. I used to ride the right side through the slums with the strap close. Used to remove the duffel bags from the trunk. Yeah, I was that close. North American Hebrews got their backs cracked with lassos. Turned keys of coke from Pablo into crack capsules. Now behind seatbelts and black Camaros, idolizing Pharaoh. Feeding each other barrels, shells, jumping out the sunroof with a pistol. It's no love from death when it kiss you. Lifted our sneakers out of the street cause we blessed individuals. Shown mercy by the Most High. Thirsty, drinking water that came down out of a domed sky. Chapter 6, verse 38. Placed in the book of John. We need faith in these crooked times. Starting to ache in your temple and you still cooking swine. Been with my bride almost a dub. She still fine as wine. That wine came from water. That water was once alive. It's still alive cause his Holy Spirit ain't never die. Don't let them fool you cause they'll do it to you every time. Feel like the whole purpose of the media is to undermine. Take away the feeling of safety right in front of our eyes. Erase our faith in what's been promised us 100 times. He love the righteous ones, don't let them tell you different. Dumb down the spirit's conviction and called it intuition. You know what you know, confusion is the new addiction. One swipe can change your life, I mean really what's the true intention? Taught to hate the truth when it's the lie that has been weaponized. Don't be mesmerized by the anti-God who is next to rise. The revolution will be televised cause it's Hellenized. The real revolution after that is what they don't advertise. Return of the Lion of Judah, witnessed by every eye, to separate the lamb from the goats, but that's classified. Devil got tactics, he learned to strategize. Theatrics, but that lion gon' eat him alive.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. You already know the business. Listen, without any further ado, this guy right here, let me say this word, perfusionist, author. Ooh, I love that, Kenny. Then he talks around, and he's a medical scientist. And he looks like me and you, and for a lot of people watching, right? None other than my brother, friend, alumnus from our school, OU, or now back in the day, Oakwood College. It is none other than my man. Welcome to the studio. It is Mr. Mark Brazil. What's going on, man? Welcome to the show, Mark.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Listen, let me tell you all about Mark. I've been knowing this dude, man, back in the day, man. He was a baller.
Not a baller.
Well, he was a baller. He just always was dressed to the nine. I thought you was a baller.
No, I didn't ball.
He just was always in the gym doing.
I was always in the gym.
You were coaching though, right?
I was coaching.
Okay, all right. There it is. See, learn something new even after.
See, when you don't ball, you coach.
Well, anyway, Mark, listen, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
You are being watched by a lot of people. And really, your message is going to be promoted all over the world, locally, regionally, and what have you. But we always try and start with a fun fact. 3 fun facts. Here's 3 fun facts about who Mark Brazil is off top. Outside what we're about to talk about.
Okay, one is I love biking.
Okay.
I used to bike all the time
really?
back in the day. Yes. So I definitely enjoy biking. 2, I'm a plane enthusiast. I love
You like to fly?
I love to fly. I love to fly on. I love to go to air shows. Really? My brother was in the Air Force.
Okay.
And so I just love being around planes. I love that.
And my dad I was born at West Point. My dad was Air Force.
Nice.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That's
Fact
impressive.
3. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm trying to keep up with the good doctor here.
And fact 3 is basically, I love educating. One of the things I really love to do is I love teaching. And I love edifying the body because I used to, when I was younger, I was a bookworm. I used to read a lot. I used to cry. I used to sleep, fall asleep reading.
Wow. And so, this is pretty cool too, Mark, because we're in a new season. You look at the times in which we live in. We have new administrations from the White House all the way down to the local house.
Yes.
And the state and local representation. And it's so imperative that if you don't get the reading and literacy down.
That's right.
By the 3rd grade, they are calculating privatized prisons just for individuals. And a lot of them are people of color, black and brown.
Mm-hmm.
They're counting up the dollars. Because remember, you got the Social Security. A child has a dollar amount attached to it.
That's right.
So they're calculating by the time this kid gets 17, he's going to be in juvie. Yeah. By the time he turns 18, he's going to be tried as an adult. We're going to get his money just because he's breathing. Right. And we're going to charge $7 a day for him to make license plates when he can make 20, 40, 60 an hour with a degree.
That's right.
Man,
That's right.
Bro.
It's really unfortunate. And even today, when you think about how they used to always say, if you want to hide something from them, just put it in the book or write about it. Yeah. And as sad as that is, I think that there is still some relevancy to that, and we can change that dynamic.
And part of this mission of this talk show, this transformative talk, is to transform our lives for life and for better.
That's right.
All right. So let's talk about, there's always a backstory before we get into this first video. But tell us a little bit about who Mark is, where you from, and what makes Mark Mark, and what are you most passionate about? What makes Mark Mark, and what are you most passionate about? Talk to the folk.
Well, as I said before, I've always was an educator. I love to read. Again, like I said, my mom, I used to always recite stuff. And Mom used to, be surprised or they'd be tickled because I would say something. Friends would ridicule me. Where'd you get that from? And then months down the road, they'll see something on television. They're running something in the newspaper like, oh, you said that. Oh, okay. And I'm feeling this small, but then I start to grow. I was like, there we go. But no. But so that's something I've always loved to do. And for me, I was born in Detroit.
You're a Detroit City cat.
That's right. We
was arch enemies on the campus, man.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's Michigan.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, Detroit City.
That's right. The Michigan boys. That's right. Hey, no issues with that. That's right. Hey, shout out to Coop. That's right.
And my boy had that J.
That's right.
The real. Okay, go ahead.
And so, like I said, I lived in Detroit. My parents moved us out to Ypsilanti, into the Bellevue area. That's where I grew up, kind of out the city.
Right.
My mom said it was time for us to move away because the influences were getting a little bit more strong where we were living. And from there, I did eventually go down to Oakwood. Came down to Oakwood College at the time, a few years ago. Now Oakwood University. Eventually, I went to Johns Hopkins, where I got some specialized training there as a cardiovascular perfusionist.
So wait, we're gonna hit a pin right there. He said he tried to move too quick, Johns Hopkins University. First of all, there ain't a lot of brothers getting in there unless they got some brains. So, and we were talking offline. You were the first. Talk about that.
That's right.
Let's talk about that.
That's right. I was the first person to graduate in my program. And one of my mentors while I was there was Dr. Levi Watkins, who was, he was actually the first cardiac surgeon to put in a cardiovascular, they call it a defibrillator. Inside a patient. And he was another walking Black history. He was actually in his 70s at that time.
Wow.
And he called me into his office one day, and he was the one who actually told me, because he told, he said, young man, I want you to make an appointment to see me. And I didn't know what to expect. I walked into this very decorated office, and basically he was just telling me his history. He broke down his times he was actually a deacon when Dr. Martin Luther King was the pastor in the church that they were.
Really?
He walked in all the freedom walks, and he was just basically giving me his Black history story, and then telling me all the different historical points of Black history. And he's the one who told me, he said, the reason why I'm talking to you is not just because you're one like me, but I have not seen anyone else like me coming up in here. And that's what he said. And he said, I just want to talk to you because this is a legacy. This is, breaking barriers. And he said, I just want you to be aware and to really appreciate the legacy that will follow you going forward.
So I want to talk about, when we come back on this other side of the video, this term that you said, PER, perfusionist.
Perfusionist. Clinical cardiovascular perfusion.
Listen, we got to talk about that. See, it's one thing to just check out a show. It's another thing to learn and grow from checking out a show. So here it is. We'll give you another joint. I think we want to do Corey Paul. Let's do Corey Paul. He has a song called Creation. He flipped the whole creation story, the DNA story of God and man. And it's dope, man. So I want you to, since you're digging in the body and you trying to get deep on this, listen, we start the whole year off with all of this deep stuff, man, especially talking about Black excellence and Black medicine and Black scientists. And this dude right here sitting next to me, he's going to make me want to think about going into medicine. We'll be right back.
Before anything he created inhabited earth, he was everything alone. He was God on his own. He was still king with a throne. It's not his creation that made him the greatest. You cannot get greater than ultimate greatness. It's out of his love that he chose to create us. Created the heavens and then he created the earth. He hadn't fashioned us yet. We was still part of the dirt. It was still black as my skin before we contended with sin. In the end and beginning, the enemy entered into the dimension, devising the vision that led to dissension. The spirit of God inhabit the sky and hovering over us all. Then he said, let there be light, and he switched on the light and he saw it was good for us all. Then he took all of the light he created and decided to surgically separate it. He called the brightness the day and the darkness the night, and today they're still right where he placed it. That's day one. On day two, he continued the mission. His vision became clear. World was water, placed the expanse in the center. Split the water down the middle. Put water above the expanse, the water below the expanse, he left it. We call the expanse our reference to sky. Our God calls it the heavens. On day three, he said separate water under heaven into one place. Water was ocean, dry was land, and new turf was then named earth. Out of the earth came vegetation, all of the plants and seeds. And you know a tree by the fruit it bears, so on good soil sow seeds. On day four, he brought out the lights. He told them to shine in the sky, separate all of the seasons, all of the years, separate day from the night. He hung up the sun and the moon, then plotted out all of the stars. Everything we see distributed in light was created for us on day four. But if you've been tracking the story, then something ain't right. Cause he had said let there be light on day one. So what was the light? It wasn't no sun, it wasn't no moon, and he hadn't plotted the stars. So what was the sources of light if the sources of light were created day four? God is the source and they're just a reflection. The sun, the moon, the stars, reflections of him. He is the essence. He is the light. He is the life. He is the giver of blessings. He makes the visible possible out of the darkness until incandescence. On day 5, he brought the ocean alive. Everything we see that swim in the sea, he created and it multiplied. That big fish just gon' swallow Jonah when he try to run from his calling. Them 2 fish that Jesus gon' whip up in John and feed over 5,000. All the fish the disciples gon' catch when they switch the side, they cast in their net. That 1 fish that Peter gon' catch with the coin in his mouth to pay off their tax. Next on the list, he told the sky to fly. Everything we see that soar up above, he created and it multiplied. The raven that'll feed Elijah, showing God can even use the unclean. The rooster, crows 3 signify Peter has denied he. The dove from up above on Christ's shoulder, let the spirit free. And I know if his eyes on the sparrow, then he's watching over me. Day 6. God spoke to the earth, generate more life and it listened. Livestock like the 1 sheep when the 99 go missing. Crawling creatures like the locust, he gon' send a pharaoh, yeah I mean business. And wildlife like them lions in the den with Daniel, but they couldn't kill him. Now let us make man in our image, creating them after our likeness. He's speaking in plural, the Trinity with him, the Son and the Spirit beside him. Our Highness created us with a purpose, part of his vision. And ours, represent, rule, reproduce, that's the mission. Represent God fully focused so that you can clearly see his image. Rule on behalf of him through trust, this here family business. Reproduce God's presence is the premise, I'll endure it to the ending. Think it's finished, that's when he replenishing his business plans to the beginning. And then we were given the plants of the earth and fruit of the trees to eat. Except for that one, and you know what we done. Ironically, it wasn't sweet. And then he saw all that he made, and very good he perceived indeed. And then it was evening and it was morning, and the 6th day was finally complete. God doesn't sleep or slumber, but it says on the 7th day he rested. But if he God, he ain't getting tired, so what's the reason that he rested? Cause everything he do destined. He rested for us as a motto, that we should rest in him, work from next, and that's the only plan we should follow. The 7th day is the Sabbath day, God said to decide is holy. Rest in him, cast all cares of the world, really get to know. And pray from your heart with devotion. Beg God that feel that you holding. Hold of that pain, that trauma, that drama, you really just gotta let go of it. He was there for it, I don't ignore it. Take hold of the spirit, let go of it. Gon' drown in them tears or swim in the living water that he pouring is flowing in. Yeah, take you a sip and drink more of it. And you got you some God, but get more of him. You thinking about leaving, been thinking about you since the Genesis. Like where we going, then I'm an informant. Flipped on the stapler and bread on my plate. How can I rest till my brothers is safe and they carved out of space and they heart for they faith. Bowing and beating, but never we break. I took all of that hate and replaced it with grace. And the wages of sin is my debt, but my savior took wrath on behalf of my flesh and stood right in my place. Hey. The wages of sin is my debt, but my savior took wrath on behalf of my flesh and stood right in my 7 days.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the session live. I'm your host. You already know, Doc Whitlow, Minister Fred, too, for all the hip hop heads. And we in the building with my man, Mr. Mark Brazil. Hey, man, listen, we gotta ask this question. What are you most passionate about? That's the first thing. And I want to go back to that perfusionist cardiovascular terminology. So let's talk about your passion, because you talked about this education thing. And I think this is important because, you know, young adults, young people, Gen A, AZ, alphas, we all like, without no education, you ain't going nowhere. Right. So what's up, bro?
Well, you know, what drives me is the fact that our young people today don't really know where they came from. You know, they're spoon-fed stuff off social media. They hear people talking. They're all these talking heads as though they're experts, but nobody bothers to check their credentials. Nobody bothers to check their relevancy of, do they really know what they're talking about?
Wow.
My passion is to educate our young people properly. And by citing what information that I'm, you know, first of all, I get it out of God's word. That's where it begins.
You got it.
Wisdom comes from above, and then you break it down from there. And I think that my goal is to educate our young people, let them know that, listen, you're special. You created, God has made us special. He's giving you a brain for a reason. Use it. Don't abuse it.
All right. So let's go to this medical term, perfusionist. Talk about it. Now you got to break that down, because
it's very simple.
Like, yo, go ahead.
Well, whenever you know, many people are familiar with you know, heart surgery, and I'll just keep it very simple.
Okay.
If you have heart surgery, there are 3 specialists in the room that helps you, you know, that will perform it. You have the cardiac surgeon. You have the anesthesiologist, who basically, he's the gas man. He puts you under and he brings you out of it. He maintains the, you know, while you're under, you know, he makes sure everything is good. And then and then that's what we said, the heart rate, and then the perfusionist. But basically, when the surgeon is operating, he actually has to stop the heart from pumping. So what the perfusionist does, they hook up a machine to you know, to the heart, and so they can basically bypass the heart and lungs, and they're able to stop the heart completely from pumping. So
we still thinks it's more.
That's right. The body,
wow.
You're pumping. There's a machine called the heart-lung machine that actually replaces the patient's heart, and now you're being sustained by a machine. That's right.
Functioning as if your body is being.
That's right. It's perfusing the blood and keeping the flow going, so all the organs are responding to this machine. And that's what was my job, is to maintain. So we would flatline the patient, meaning that the heart would be completely stopped. Surgeon's able to do his operation, and while the surgeon is operating, while the lungs are off anesthesia, they're just passing, you know, anesthetics and drugs, keeping the patient under. And then basically the perfusionist is keeping the blood flow flowing throughout all the parts of the body. So there's no interruption of blood flow.
You know, when I think about it from a spiritual piece, I think the perfusionist is the one in between the Father and the Spirit.
Yeah. And he's
actively, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And it's like, yo, Like God says, I got you. This is how it works.
Well, to
We
me,
tripping, we on the other end like worried. And he says, if you're heavy laden, let me put you to rest.
that's right.
And then meanwhile, Jesus and the Holy Spirit is working stuff out.
You know, what
That's crazy.
What's interesting is that
like
it's a triad. It's a triad. You know, the surgeon is critical in what he's doing. Anesthesiologist is critical in what he's doing. The perfusionist is critical in what he's doing. And they all work together for the benefit of the patient. And that's the way it is for us and our church. You know, that's the way for us. You know, we all have a specific role that's necessary for the underlying purpose.
So for someone who is not so learned in terms of medical health care, because what you're talking from like a medical scientist perspective, you're talking from a physician care. Why is it important that we, especially people of color, communities of color, why should we be so intentionally about, I need to make sure I have a physician, have my health care in order, what am I eating? Why are these things so important to them? Why should it be so important? Let me just put it that way.
Because your health determines your relevancy in this life. Basically, you can't be you if you're not healthy enough to be you.
Okay, wait. Say that again. Talking to the mic. Say that again.
You can't be you if you're not healthy enough to be you. The fact of the matter is that we can have dreams, we can have goals, we can have aspirations. We can look at television. We can say, well, I want to be like that. We can look at a house. I want to live in a house like that. We can have all of these goals, but if we're not healthy, we'll never be able to reach or attain any of this stuff.
Okay, got to put a pin right there because that's just heavy. Not being relevant enough to be able to accomplish your goals because your health is not relevant.
God has given us the ability to be healthy.
Wow.
And he's given us a template in which to fulfill that requirement. And that's why it's a simple thing for us. If we follow what he's prescribed for us, then he will bless us to be where we need to be. But if we completely throw that stuff out the window, do what we want to do, just like with anything else.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate. And then I do presentations.
Hold on, wait, let's do it. We're gonna go to because we got to get this video on. Okay. Kenny, I'm gonna switch videos. Pull up Bizzle, the song. I played it before. The music video is called Monster, and it's a really slick way of saying, man, if you're not careful, you'll become the monster to your own demise. So here it is. Bizzle, shout out to you, man. God over money. We'll be right back. Mark Bizzle in the building.
Okay, let's begin.
I had a dream I was living in the crib just like this one. Same wife, different children, and it looks just like home, but feels like I'm visiting. I really can't tell if it's real or I'm tripping. As I venture into the kitchen, there's two chicks whispering. Figured they was friends with the wife as they kicking it. I see them both giggling. The laughs get louder, and as I begin listening, it's clear that they dissing her. Either you drunk, pissing you off, piff or belligerent, and must not remember who kitchen it is you sitting in. Don't never disrespect my queen. You gotta get up and hit it before I really get pissed and start flipping. And before I can get rid of them, one of them said, listen, we'll leave, but in a minute, believe us, we'll be here again. We got permission from the guy that you're living with. What guy? Your friend upstairs with the lizard skin. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster. I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you from the monster. So I hit the stairs, running fast, gun in hand, stopping through the house, looking for this man. Busting in the kids' room, well, they my kids, but they not my kids. That's the part that I don't understand. And I ain't mentioned anything from the kitchen. I just asked if any strangers came here to visit. They pointed at this drawing that they made, and this picture was a lady and some man with a face like a lizard. They laughing as I notice they hands hitting behind they back, and it was something black in it. I tell them to let me see. As I take a look closer, it's a voodoo doll of my wife with needles all over. And now I'm tripping, asking them where they get it and what are they doing with it, but all they doing is grinning. They looked at me and said, Dad, quit tripping. The monster inside y'all's room gave us permission. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you from the monster. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you from the monster. So I run up in our room and I see this man. He's standing over my wife and she bleeding bad. I pull a gun out to squeeze, but this thing is jammed. So I swing, but it's so slow I can't even land. I step around and I see his hand. It got my wife's heart in it and it's beating fast. She got tears running all down the cheek, but she keeps smiling though. You would think she ain't even mad. This dude got a hoodie on, I can't see his face. I'm just trying to figure if he a lizard or he a snake. Is it what the chick explained? Is it who the kids were saying? Giving everybody permission to cause my missus pain. He yelled something and it sounded like hypocrite. Except he ain't say it, he was hissing it. I asked him his name, he replied, Mark. Then he looked up, in his face, it was mine. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you from the monster. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you from the monster. I wake up and it's a chick laying next to me, but it's not my wife laying in the bed with me. Tears in my eyes and this dream got me dying inside, cause now I finally realized what it was telling me. The two women in the kitchen, they were dissing, cause the way that I was living had given them that permission. And now I wanna flex with words and check forward, but my actions is why they was losing respect forward. And them kids that I didn't recognize at first, see, they really were my kids, just not with her. And the doll with all the needles inside of her represents the betrayal they'd always be a reminder of. See, I was running around trying to be the hero, but the monster with her heart in his hand was me though. I know you never let anybody hurt her, bro, but don't forget you in the position to hurt her most. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you from the monster.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. You already know the business. No More Dirty all day. This is the session. This is the Session Live talk show featuring Mark Brazil. Listen, don't forget Friday nights we do the No More Dirty TV show. Friday nights and Wednesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Right? And then on Saturdays, you get the session. That's the Session Live. Right. And that's at 2 p.m. on Saturdays. And Mondays, we come back for those that are coming on work travel. And shout out to all my people that watch. You can get it on LinkedIn as well as Facebook, Instagram, X, all of that stuff, right? And it's 7:30 p.m. on Monday evenings. And then on, we got, what else we have? No More Dirty TV. No More Dirty radio show. That's it. I mean, it's just so heavy. And we're on Sundays at 5 o'clock on G93, 6 o'clock on Sundays, Central Standard Time. We are on We Up 103.1. And then on Mondays, we're global with envision-radio.com. So again, these are some very important things to always lock in. If you check us out online, it's the @ That's @ No More Dirty Inc. and @ No More Dirty Media. So you can get us the media side, the entertainment side. You can get the ink side. Make sure you do that on Facebook. all of the social medias, and stay locked and loaded. Now I got to get here. We got to go here. So here it is. You over 3 decades. You've been doing this stuff, top of the game, and then all of a sudden, this concept of the matter of a heart. First of all, show them the book. Let's talk about the book, but I just want to show you this book. Now let's go back. Let's talk about how did you go from how did you go from a physician, a medical scientist, to someone having an encounter with a matter of the heart?
Well, first of all, let me just kind of give you a roll back. The cardiovascular perfusionist is not a physician. They are a clinical specialist. They basically are clinicians that operate specifically, like I said, they're trained in blood flow management. Okay. There's a lot of additional equipment that they use, left ventricular, like heart assist devices, and anything, any extraneous circuits that are utilized to sustain patients. That's what perfusions is trained to do.
So they're clinical.
They're just specialists. That's right.
Okay, that's food. That's still deep, because we didn't have you, a lot of folk wouldn't be breathing.
Exactly.
All right.
You need that.
Yeah.
Just for people who want to understand what is the role of a perfusionist.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So let's talk about now this journey. Why a matter of the heart?
Well,
how did that come about?
The reason why I use the term a matter of the heart is because, again, I wrote this book. I became a diabetic about 25 years ago.
Wow.
I was actually at that time still in the hospital, and I had just gotten married, and within 3 or 4 or 5 months, I started exhibiting very unique symptoms. I started losing weight. My clothes started getting bigger.
Wow.
Now, I was pretty active at that time, and I'm just trying to figure out, why am I losing weight?
Right.
I'm thinking maybe it's just I'm on my game. My bike. Hey, something's working right. But this was a little bit more extreme. And as time went on, I spoke with some people at the hospital. I'm like, this is not weird. This is just not normal. Something's out of the ordinary. And stuff. Initially, you brush things under the rug, but it became too dramatic. Not only you losing weight, then I started getting tired. And I'm used to working in long hours in the hospital, so all of a sudden I started getting tired. I eat certain foods, and it just kind of wipes me out. I just kind of feel a malaise. I just feel different. I started getting really thirsty. Had this insatiable thirst. I started drinking a lot of sodas, pops. And I knew I didn't have a sweet tooth like that. But it was just kind of a weird transition. And then I guess it ended when I really figured out what was going on, is when I started having frequent urination and all this stuff. And you learn a little bit about diabetes, but when you start experiencing it, it's a little bit different situation. And that's when I decided, okay, something's not right. I decided one day, I came home, I was tired. I said, you know what, I'm gonna see what's going on. I went up to the drugstore, bought me one of those over-the-counter tests, came back positive. I was floored, devastated.
Wow.
So the reason why I wrote this book is because I want people to understand that, for me, first of all, it was very difficult from being a former clinician, or actually at that time a clinician, and now I become a patient. The various things that we study about, the various things that we are familiar with, the various things that we have learned, when it happens to you, it's a completely different animal.
And it's always, when it's personal, it's always,
that's right.
It's different.
It hits
the
different.
Ride is quite different.
That's right. And the ride was very bumpy. I was angry for years. And I wrote this book because I wanted people to understand that diabetes is more than just a condition. Diabetes also has a psychological component that people don't really talk about, that's not really truly appreciated. And that's another reason why I wrote it, is because when you look at many of the diabetic books out there, they talk about the pathophysiology. They talk about what is diabetes. Okay, fine. But they don't really talk about the psychological component of this thing. How not only does it affect you, it affects those around you. It affects your whole
circle of
influence. Your family, your friends, your close friends, whoever you're around. Because, when you're impacted, it even affects your mood. I mean, so you could be, they know you're a happy-go-lucky guy. I was always a happy-go-lucky guy. But then you're wondering, why are you snapping at me? Why are you so what's the issue? Why are you so angry? And you realize, I'm not angry. I'm influenced. I'm under the influence of a condition
That's
that
true.
I have, that has no, no direct control in that regards.
So let me ask a question, because I want to get to the nutty grain of this. So when you realize this was, you have now a different lifestyle that you have to now encounter and deal with.
Yes.
And you realize that it's a matter of the heart, but it's also a matter of life and death. You have a beautiful wife. You just got married.
Yes.
And then you realize this is going to be with me for a long time.
For the rest of my life.
So I want to give two nuggets. And by the way, he's going to be with us this evening at 6:00.
Yes.
So we'll talk about it after the music video. But just give them two hopeful nuggets for individuals, because diabetes and 1 and 2 is crazy. Because what he's going to talk about when we talk up on the back end of this video, I need you to understand that you need to pull up.
Yes.
Just two hopeful tips, and we're gonna go to this music video.
Well, the one tip is that diabetes is not a death sentence.
Come on.
It's just a condition.
Say that again.
It's not a death sentence.
It's not a death sentence.
No, it can be controlled. The biggest challenge with diabetes is awareness. And the reason why I titled my book A Matter of the Heart, because not only does diabetes have an indirect effect on heart, cardiovascular disease, but also I flipped it as well, coining the phrase, the heart. Basically, how bad do you want something? And for me, wellness is not just it's not just a behavior.
That's good.
It's willful. Do you have to will yourself? God has given us the ability to overcome adversity.
Yeah.
And God will be with us. If we pray, say, Lord, give me wisdom, give me the strength to get through this thing. But we have to want to do it. That's where the heart comes.
So let's go here, because I want to wrap up on the back end. This song I love. It's by it's called "What's Bound in Heaven is Bound as Heaven is Bound on Earth."
Yes.
How bad do you want to live here so that at some point you can have an eternal walk with God and your family? So here it is. Forrest Frank, you already know the business. My homie from the Indie Tribe is Deshaun Torrey, and we'll be right back one more time. We'll see you in a bit. Hey, man, put that sign up so they'll know how to get to us. Yep.
Many times I pray and don't know what he say, but I know every time he show me the way is when I obey.
I'm just trying to do what God say.
Yeah.
God way. I'm just trying to do what God say. God way. Boy, I'm finna get my all. I'm never gonna let up.
Like child.
Even if I fall, you better
K.R.
get up. I'm just trying to do what God say. God way. I'm just trying to do what God say. God way. I'm just trying to get my all. I'm never letting up. And even if I fall, you better go get up. I'm just trying to do it.
Yeah. Father told me stay all equipped. Gotta abide by all the script. God brought me too far to slip. Anytime I fit in the spirit, the anointing lifts. And anytime I ain't near him, it feel like I lost the gift. I gotta go. I gotta do what I'm meant to. Gotta renew my mental. I need God if I wanna get through. I move slow and I move sinful. My body holy, I can't destroy the temple. If I say I follow him only, my actions gotta resemble the church. I gotta get in and rehearse. If I wanna see a reverse, I'm seeking his face, I search. I'll draw a line in the dirt if I really know what it's worth. He say when the world hates you, remember it hated me first. Now take that verse. Mom and daddy got divorced and I'm trying to break that curse. I ain't trying to make that worse. I ain't trying to stay in oblivion. Look at me like you did Gideon, out of the mud and into the water like I'm an amphibian. I'm in Corinthians 1:25. Human strength is even weaker and lesser than weakness of God. Him or the devil when picking a side. I wasn't created to waste his time.
I'm just trying to do what God say. God way. I'm just trying to do what God say. God way. Boy, I'm finna get my all. I'm never gonna let up. And even if I fall, you better get up. I'm just trying to do what God say. God way. I'm just trying to do what God say. God way. I'm just trying to get my all. I'm never letting up. And even if I fall, you better go get up. I'm just trying to do it.
Okay, Yahweh, who I'm running with, better or worse, through sickness and health. Stay faithful even when I broke covenant, you better know. I got a God who once was slain, but then he arose from down below. I got a God, he calling my name, so I gotta go. For a righteous man falls 7 times, but he rise again. Got a reward in the heavens, I'm done trying to seek validation from eyes of men. Heart was coated in December, but he never seemed to remember when I repent. No longer bound to captivity, there's no more sin in me. I had the power quench. Your love for me brought me face to face with conviction. Not conditions, that's the difference. Several things that I'm too ashamed to even mention. Still in all, I'm forgiven. Once upon a time, to the sin was a victim. Now in God, I'm a witness. Tell him all he is risen. Tell him all he is risen. Tell him all he is risen. Sometimes the right way is the hard way. Sometimes doing good things ain't the God way. The only way to make it through and go all the way is to do it with Yahweh.
Oh, wow. Okay, man, this has been a journey, and we're not even finished, because tonight, again, I want you to make sure you take the time to pull up. It's at the spot where lives transform, which is our studio, our multifunctional urban-based center. So the address is 50. In fact, why don't you put that up for me, Kenny? It's 5045 Memorial Parkway. Now, this is Northwest, Suite B, as in boy, Huntsville, Alabama, 35810. There it is right there. Look, this is what's happening. I want you to make sure you pull up, man. Listen, that $5 donation is going to save your heart, save your headaches and all kind of stuff going on. And then you'll be able to get the book there, and you'll be able to get it personally signed, and then you can lock in on all of his good stuff. So let's do this. Let's finale like this, man, because I don't want to take any longer of your time, because we got to get ready. Yeah. We're only a few hours in.
That's right.
So the question I want to ask you that you can leave with us is, we realize the impact of heart disease, diabetes, the whole cardiovascular disorder situation. For us, especially people of color, number one, is it because it's so many of us that are affected? Is it a black and brown thing? Number one, yes, no, and why? And then secondly, why should they come tonight? Why should they come? And even when he's all over the place doing other stuff, why should they show up for a matter of the heart presentation, book signing, and giveaway?
First of all, to answer your first question, is it an issue of brown or black? No, this is actually a global epidemic. Wow. Every demographic is impacted. In fact, people will be shocked to know that the number one globally region that is impacted by diabetes happens to be India. But in the United States, yes, we are disproportionately affected by this condition. And both of these conditions are disproportionately affect us. And a lot of that has to do with healthcare disparities. A lot of people, their doctor is the ER or urgent care.
Listen, I work in housing, low-income public housing.
That's right.
And the first thing they say is, Dr. Whitlow, Mr. Whitlow, do you know where the urgent care? I said, do you have a physician? No. Do you have the care that you need? No. And so a lot of that is just helping to navigate getting the appointment. So number one, I love the fact that diabetes 1, 2, cardiovascular is a issue, a global and a national pandemic and epidemic as well.
That's right. And we can reduce these numbers.
We can reduce it by
if we follow through and follow up. You know your body better than anybody. No doctor, no nurse, no therapist can tell you more about you. You know when something is not right. If you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling right, if something feels off, get it checked out.
Yeah,
that's what I try to encourage. People that listen. I say, listen, you know when you're not feeling your best, go and get it checked out. Go to your doctor. Go to some healthcare provider. Figure out what's going on. The biggest detriment, particularly for type 2 diabetes, is lack of education or lack of understanding. A lack of awareness, I should say. Basically, you don't know what you don't know, but when you know that you're feeling off, but when you show up, many times you may have had this condition for so long because you put off getting it checked out. Now you're dealing with the ramifications of long-term issues.
So I want to go here, and then we're going to again encourage them to come. So now that we do that, why should they come to your presentation this evening?
I think what my presentation presents is, one, it helps you understand not only what diabetes is, but how diabetes affect you and everybody around you. Like I said, I touch on the psychological ramifications of this thing. I touch on ways to mitigate it, ways to reduce the impact. The thing about it is that with diabetes, if a holistic change in your lifestyle will impact whether you just recently diagnosed, whether you've had it for 50 years, or whether you are trying not to get it. Following these these 8 health principles are critical in helping to ward off issues.
So again, Mark, I want to say thank you, man. I appreciate it. This is a great way to start off the culture, the new year, the new season, a time when we celebrate Black excellence, So we're talking Black health and wealth, folk. You're going to learn keys, significant keys, strategically, practically this evening that will transform your life for life. And again, Kenny, why don't you throw that up again where we're going to be? There it is. Health through uncertainty. We're so uncertain about cardiovascular things, bro.
Yes.
And it's going to be, again, at the spot. Listen, it'll be the best donation you ever put out there. And even if you can't, you don't have, we still want you to come. But we want you to support. And listen, how many books you got, man? How many books you brought with you? Because we couldn't get to so many. The others are gone.
I have 50 books with me right now.
So what we want to do is make sure that you all take those books with you. We'll have giveaways there. And most importantly, you'll be able to speak face to face with a clinician that can speak to any aspect of that. So listen, on behalf of us here at the session live, No More Dirty, you know the business. Shout out to you, man. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you.
And when we go out, man, just show them some pictures, Kenny. We were at the Huntsville Museum of Art, breaking ground. Excellent situation. Never done this before.
Tremendous opportunity.
What do you think, bro, about that before we go out?
That was awesome. Anytime you can do groundbreaking activities, that's something that you live for.
Yeah.
To be an example.
Yeah.
And now you can share that part of history. There's something that no one can ever take back from you, is being a first in something.
And the Communities of Color, our first kickoff series where we're integrating in such spaces that typically may not have that much of influence. On behalf of us here, you already know, shout out to my man Kenny, Green Room Entertainment, the whole family at No More Dirty Entertainment, Inc., and Stric'ly Jesus. You already know the business musically. I want to say shout out to you and to all of our friends. Again, we'll see you tonight. Let's give them a few videos. I'm thinking we can give them some of that Johnson. But start out with Jehovah Leads, man, with Ring the Alarm. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to ring the alarm. We'll see you next time. Peace, peace. Hey, don't forget to tune in and share with a friend.
Ring the alarm. Je suis abandonné. Moi, nous t'aider. L'évangile a tourné. Allah m'a fait sonner. Ring the alarm. Je suis abandonné. Moi, nous t'aider. L'évangile a tourné. Allah m'a fait sonner. Ring the alarm. Je suis abandonné. Moi, nous t'aider. L'évangile a tourné. Equinox, the sun crosses the equator, the exalted of the earth languish. The world withers to the drunken, the bare bitter, guilt of rebellion. Will to and fro the heavy weight of their transgressions. The moon confound the sun, quickly put to shame. Inhabitants of the earth forced to recognize the reign, Lord of hosts. Revelation straight off of Patmos, thou art worthy. Fill our pleasure with all things created. Uttered by the 24 before the fall crowned down. As they glorify the word renowned. Forensic eye reached for the weak and weary. And made the Lord their strength and overcame in time of war. Warrior, sword in hand, shield of faith. Breastplate of righteousness, escape the hands of rigor mortis. Flawless angelic beings, they recording this. Went from natural to a supernatural purpose. Ring the alarm. Je suis abandonné. Moi, nous t'aider. L'évangile a tourné. Allah m'a fait sonner. Ring the alarm. Je suis abandonné. Moi, nous t'aider. L'évangile a tourné. Allah m'a fait sonner. Ring the alarm. Je suis abandonné. Moi, nous t'aider. L'évangile a tourné. Four horsemen, four corners of the earth can't hold the wings back. Stimulate the broken foes, unfold words of divine inspiration. Assimilation from glory to glory, check the character. Manufactured with the seal of approval, sensational, sentimental, off instrumental. That faith witness, can he get a witness? No doubt. 144,000 multitude behind him, amongst them tribe of Levi. Food bearer, planted by the stream of water in due season. Double-edged swordsman, conquerors predestined. J.L. son made it through the tribulation, remedy the situation, augmentation, road white, no strobe light, bound to blind you. Coming through 7 times, gotta require the proper spirit to stop reaching for the lighters. Ring the alarm. Je suis abandonné, moi, nous t'aider. L'évangile a tourné, Allah m'a fait sonner. revealed. Watch the lamb open up that sixth seal. Wasn't prepared for that rude awakening. The earth started shaking, the stars from the sky started falling in the heavens, receded like a scroll. Everything got out of control. Captures running for the mountains, stealing rocks and things that starts to fall upon them. But there was no place to run, no place to hide. The glory of God just was felt from all sides. Was happy to be one of his children amongst the men on earth and in heaven, straight singing glory and honor be to the Lamb and he who sits on his throne. Forever, ever, yeah, forever, ever. Wicked men felt this wrath. All those who oppose us, they all got outcasts like that, y'all. Serving in the God, he's coming back, y'all.
You know, the hardest fight I ever had to fight in life was the fight I fought to free myself from self. Stuck in the clutch of death and the hand around my neck, applying pressure was connected to my own arm. Dear God, I feel like I'm losing this fight. Cause my views of what's right is really wrong, or what's wrong is really right. But in living life, you got to get it right, cause we can't live it twice. Then it's quite a shame that I'm to blame for all the pain I withstained through the years. I swore to never cause my mama pain, but I'm the main source that drew those tears. Dude, look here. I was supposed to be a protector, a provider. But how can I provide when I deny time after time the right way of living? I say I gotta get it. Now I'm committed to this living that got me convicted in that system where recidivism was the goal of interest. Oh, they got us right where they want us. Lock us up to let us out so when we come back, we stay longer. Say, homie, did you know the hardest fight I ever had to fight in life was the fight I fought to free myself from self? Well, what I love to death never seemed to really love me in life. I mean, it steered me right down the wrong direction. Knowing I loaned affection, I went looking for love with the wrong perception. And in my own deception, I neglected the fact that in order to love you, I got to love myself. But how can I love myself when everything I love in life I place above myself? I drug myself through the mud for the love I felt. Got up to dust myself off, took a look around, there's no one to be found but myself. Now with one finger pointed at the world and three back at me, the verdict is in. What I thought was a strong defense was really a weak excuse. Putting my struggles off on others is what weakens do. See, the streets had me confused. Cause I say stuff like, man, I'm a product of my environment. You see, I heard somebody else say that, so I started to believe it. Cause when I heard it, it changed the way that I perceived it. Oh, I'm less fortunate. I should be street. But my father's the king. I'm part of an eliteness. But the fact is, homie, when you blind, you can't see this. Peep this. Did you know the hardest fight I ever had to fight in life was the fight I fought to free myself from self? But no longer would I let something else determine the way that I'm living. When I'm the captain of the ship of decisions, it can only drive where it's driven. Listen, my vision became so clearer when I realized the guy behind my demise lies within my own mirror. My lack of success was due to unsuccessful logic. You see, cause I can say that I'll be straight if I get off this jank. But all it takes is one mistake to coming off the fake. It was a big mistake to think a gamble was a strategic play. So when I'm confused by what to do, I hit my knees to pray. Cause hey, the hardest fight I ever had to fight in life was the fight I fought to free myself from self. Cause the fight of my life was the fight for my life. And I be fighting right into my death. Yeah.
Hello, my DJ. Volume.
Jesus Christ said that the words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life.
Back with the kings of the jungle, came here to rumble, young man rumble. Still dope, no dope on all the smoke, gonna tumble. Gotta run with the out for the motherland. Apex with the claws that cut a man. Until the Lord found me in the
rhythm and parody. Posing some questions to answer by means of some mental telepathy. Lord's like, sincerely, why you keep calling me king? I ring, you respond rarely. Believe him who speak into hearts, winds, waves, hail, all supreme clarity. Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and boys from the king.
Mushishini napi, bati mwine mushimu ufyashi. Iba matisola bafuna kupanya munga ni chingerengele. Bati bonse ni bana bangono. Muri yesu ifesi tipenda. Abengi bafayo kubumfyo gulo shiba. I'm the child of the king.
Forever live the king. Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and boys of the king. Ride the mud, straight out the gutter. Slide through the hood, real smooth like butter. Clean out the closet, clear out the clutter with a full-time queen, no part-time lover. No top beats, y'all won't get me running on enemies like a 4 on D's. I'm a son of the cross, know what that mean. I'm a ride for the cross and the kids and the queen.
Village bride, I'm a citizen. Prophet and priest is the category. Got this fire inside of my bone frame. Most what I speak is inflammatory. Truth, serum, draw near him. Prison block, one blood dry clear him. Only one name, elevating, dominating, proclaiming that ain't no other queen coming.
Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and boys of the king. Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and boys of the king.
Nanga niliosebele saini.